In the early 1970s, America was a nation in transition. The Vietnam War divided public opinion, economic uncertainty loomed, and air travel was still a luxury, less regulated than today. Hijackings, known as skyjackings, were not uncommon. Over 100 occurred between 1968 and 1972. But one skyjacking would stand out, becoming a legend that still captivates the world, the case of D.B. Cooper. On November 24, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving, a man entered Portland International Airport. He was calm, unassuming, and carried a briefcase. This was no ordinary passenger. This was the man who would soon be known as D.B. Cooper. The man, using the alias Den Cooper, purchased a one-way ticket for Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, a Boeing 727 bound for Seattle. He looked about 40, dressed in a dark suit, white shirt, and black tie, a typical businessman of the era. He took seat 18C in the rear of the plane, ordered a bourbon and soda, and settled in. The flight carried 36 passengers and 6 crew members, taking off at 2:50 p.m. into a cloudy Pacific Northwest sky. Mid-flight, Cooper handed a note to Florence Schaffner, a 23-year-old flight attendant. Thinking it was a phone number, she slipped it into her pocket. Cooper leaned in and whispered, "Miss, you'd better read that note. I have a bomb." The note, written neatly, read, "I have a bomb in my briefcase. I will use it if necessary. I want $200,000, 4 parachutes, and a refueled plane in Seattle." He opened his briefcase, revealing wires and red sticks that looked like dynamite. Calm but firm, he made his demands: $200,000 in used $20 bills, 2 front and 2 back parachutes. He instructed the crew to land in Seattle and remain calm. The airline complied, contacting the FBI and arranging the ransom. At 6:45 p.m., Flight 305 landed at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. Cooper released the passengers in exchange for the money, delivered in a canvas bank bag, and the 4 parachutes. He then ordered the crew to refuel the plane and fly to Mexico City, but with strict conditions: keep altitude below 10,000 feet, fly slower than 200 knots, and leave the rear air stair open. The crew protested that it was unsafe, but Cooper insisted. At 8 p.m., Flight 305 took off again with only Cooper, the pilot, co-pilot, flight engineer, and 1 flight attendant on board. Somewhere over the dense, stormy forests of Washington state, near Ariel, Cooper lowered the rear air stair. At 8:13 p.m., a cockpit indicator showed the stairs had been deployed. Cooper, with the money tied to his waist and a parachute on his back, jumped into the night. He was never seen again. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in history, codenamed NORJAC, Northwest Hijacking. Over 1,000 agents searched the rugged terrain of Washington and Oregon, especially around Lake Merwin and the Washougal River Basin. The weather was brutal: freezing rain, high winds, dense forests, making survival unlikely. In 1980, a boy named Brian Ingram found 3 bundles of weathered $20 bills, $6,000 in total, while camping near the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money. Known as the Tennabar find, it was the only physical evidence ever recovered. But it raised more questions. Did Cooper lose the money mid-jump, or plant it as a decoy? The FBI profiled Cooper as a calm, experienced man